Hello, welcome. I'm an evolutionary biologist. Yes, not a trader, not a banker. I've spent years studying why some species survive and the others disappear. But here's the thing I didn't expect it myself. The more I studied the nature, the more I realized it was actually teaching me something about money. Evolution has been running the most ruthless investment market on Earth for about 4 billion years. And it left us a rulebook written in DNA. That is what this channel is: nature and finance made simple for everyone. Today, I'm starting with 6 rules. Let's go. Quick thing about me. So you know, this isn't just pretty metaphors. I have a PhD in evolutionary biology. My actual research is about survival. Which strategies works, which one fails, and why. This is what I do every day. When I started investing my own money, I did what any scientist does. I didn't follow tips online. I looked at the actual business underneath every stock. One example: in my research, I run huge computations, thousands of species running on supercomputer. And classical computer kept hitting a wall, a speed and time. So I asked, who solved that? That question led me invest in quantum computing before it became a headline. That is the whole idea here. I read signals from the nature and I use them to think more clearly about money. And I want to show you how to do the same thing. Rule 1. Spend more energy today to own more tomorrow. In finance, this is simple. The money you invest today works while you are sleeping or while you are doing your favorite sport. It is not sitting still, it's actually growing. Now, watch how nature does the same exact thing. A young plant could spend its energy growing tall and looks very impressive. Instead, the smart ones send their roots down deep. It is slow, and above ground it seems like nothing happened. But that plant just bought something priceless. It owns the water supply. When the dry season comes and the rivals wilt, it is still drinking. So investing isn't about being impressive today. It's about owning the water supply for years. Rule 2. No risk, no reward. And I don't mean that one as a motivational quote. I mean it as biology. Think about the peacock. Its enormous tail is a terrible idea. It's so heavy and is very slow. And it's simply telling to other predators, I'm here, come and get me. So why does it exist? Well, because it does work. That risky tail is what actually attracts mate. The peacocks that play safe, small and dull doesn't reproduce. Its genes end there. In nature, the absence of risk isn't safety. It is called extinction. Same with your money. Cash that takes zero risk feels safe. But inflation is quietly eating it every single year. So playing it safe, its own kind of risk. Rule 3. This is the most powerful force in investing, and nature figured it out long before we did. Compounding. Your returns start earning their own returns. Some say the instant call it the eighth wonder of the world. Here is how the nature shows it. Look at the bee colony. It doesn't grow in a straight line. More bees build more comb. More comb stores more honey, and more honey feeds more bees, which itself builds more comb. Each cycle feeds the next. It is not addition, it is multiplication. A colony can go for a handful of bees to 50,000 in a single season. Not because everything sped up, but because growth was feeding growth. Your money does the same thing if you let it. The hard part isn't understanding compounding. It is being patient enough to let your colony grow. Most people quit in the early boring phase, when it looks like just a handful of bees. The one who wins, just don't interrupt it. Rule 4. Don't spread yourself thin. Commit to where the return is greatest. A tree doesn't grow equally in every direction. It doesn't try to be everywhere. It senses where the light is and it just commits. It grows to that light with everything it has. In investing, this is the discipline of focus. You don't sprinkle your money across hundreds of things that you don't understand. You find a few opportunities you truly believe in, the one you actually did enough research, and you back them properly. Nature doesn't reward being everywhere, it rewards finding the light. Rule 5. And this one is the hardest, either for nature, either for us. The hardest part of investing isn't to pick up the right stock. It is actually not spending the money you could invest. It delays the reward. Nature's perfect example, you might guess, the squirrel. In fall, the squirrel finds an acorn. It is hungry. It literally could eat it right away, it's so satisfying. However, it buries it. Yeah, it gives up a sure meal today for an uncertain one in winter. And the winter is the judge. Winter decides which squirrel was disciplined and which one wasn't. Every time you invest instead of spend, you burying an acorn. It doesn't feel rewarding in the moment, but you are not investing for this moment. You are investing for the winter. Rule 6. And this one is the one that separates great investors from everyone else. When the market crashes, everything panicking, selling, try to find a way out. The best investors do the opposite. They stay calm and buy more. Nature has a species that does this perfectly. The lodgepole pine. Its cones are sealed shut with resin. They don't open in good weather. They don't open in sunshine. They open in one condition only: fire. When a wildfire tears through the forest and buries everything to the ground, that's the exact moment when the lodgepole pine releases its seeds. Why? Because now the competition is ash. The soil is clear and the sunlight is unblocked. It evolves to produce during disaster. Sounds familiar? Market crashes are not the end. To prepared investors, they are the opening of the cones. They are the sail. While everyone sees fire, the lodgepole pine sees opportunity. 4 billion years of evolution. 6 rule. Deploy early. Accept smart risk. Let compounding run. Focus your energy. Sacrifice for the future. And stay calm when everything is on fire. Nature never optimized for comfort. Nature optimized for survival. And the investor who win do the same exact thing. But here's what I want you to sit with before next week. Why should you even invest in the first place? Not because everyone says so. A real answer, a biological one. That's what we are doing next. If you want to understand money the way nature understands survival, this is your channel. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.